Hello guys, welcome back to Cinematic Mike channel. Today I'm not doing a review, today I'm not doing an unboxing, but I am doing something that I told you guys in a few videos ago. I mentioned that my short film Distant, which I did in 2020, got to play at the Newport Beach Film Festival, which I ended up getting a shirt when I was there. I didn't get it during my screening of mine. I got it like I think it was the last day of the festival, and I went to go support some other filmmakers, and I saw that they had some shirts, so I took one because it's my actual short film was playing in an actual movie theater, so it's kind of special to me, you know. This film was a film that I shot during the pandemic of 2020. There's a lot of things that I have to talk about that I want to share with you guys. You know, my experience. It's my story of making a short film during the pandemic. And you guys get to experience that. I did try doing this video like 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago, and I realized that it was taking so long. So I was like, oh no, I can't. I realized that it was like way too late, and I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna have to do this in parts. So I got that idea after I had finished at a certain point of some section that I was saying, which is probably gonna happen here. So I think I'm gonna do this in parts. I really want to do it now because 2022 is almost over, and I should have done this a while ago during this year. I don't think it should be something that should be done in 2023 because it's 2022 and it should be right now. We're almost done with it. So yeah, so as many of you guys may know, I do go to school, a school for like, you know, a bachelor's for cinema and television. I don't go to an actual like big film school, but I do go to a university that's for film, that has film, and I just have my internship, and then that's it. I'm done. I just talked to the person that I'm doing my internship with today, and I just need the hours, and then I'm pretty sure I should be done. So in 2019, I think that I was taking a production class. I think I was taking production. I think, and I was excited because ever since I got there, I knew they had the equipment. I knew they had stuff that I could mess around with. And I always wanted to, the only thing that was stopping me is like, you know, you have the prerequisites. So that stuff stops you from getting to those classes. So when I got there, I was like, oh yes, I get to do these things that I want to do, the things that I like, going out with the camera, shooting, telling a story and all that, you know. And I got to meet my professor here. I met my professor here in this class, this person is a really great person. And I met her here, and I'm shy, to be honest. You know, I may do these videos and all that, but I am shy. I'm an introvert. I'm sensitive. Probably some of you guys are too. You know, I mean, maybe that's why I'm doing this. Most of people that are like me kind of do these things or are into this stuff. So I got there and I was doing all that she was saying. She was assigning us projects, which I love, you know, like projects to go out and film on the camera. You know, she's like, if you guys have your own camera, you guys could use your own camera, which whatever kind of camera it is, you guys can use it, mess around with it, everything. You know, then you guys have to go edit and come back, and we gotta review it. You know, critique it. She critiques it, criticize, which is funny because I see reviews on like Rate My Professor, and people are complaining that all this person does is criticize your work, which I think is the point of doing that, you know. And if you want to be a filmmaker, I think you're gonna have to know that that's gonna happen. You know, me, I would want my work to be criticized too. I mean, it would probably hurt me, but maybe I could learn from it. You know, I've done some short films where I got criticized, and I learned what to do better the next time. You know, so I was glad that it opened my eyes to certain things where I'm like, oh yeah, you know what, you were right. Oh no, you know what, I was wrong. All those things. So I think it helps out. It helps you become try to become better. You know. So there's going to be mistakes, and I think that's a good part of like critiques and all that, and criticizing your own people criticizing your work. So I had this class with her, and during this production class, I was having a ball, I was having fun with it, and she kept talking about this this like contest that's part of the school. So if you write a screenplay, a short film or feature film or a doc or short doc, whatever, you submit it to the school, to the cinema department. They read it, then two get selected. The two that get selected get funded money. They get funded money to go out and make that film, and it's part of their assignment for the, I forgot what the actual class is called, but it is one of the classes that you have to take. You have to sign up for it. This is after you take production 1 and production 2, and I think some other stuff. During this time, she would walk around the classroom and she would be talking about that. She'd be like telling us, she's like, "You guys don't want to do it." And during this time, she already got to know me. And this professor, I think, she picks up really quick on what kind of person you are, and I think she already picked up on me a little bit. I don't mean to like brag about myself so much, but I think she knows that I'm quiet. I think she knows that I'm shy. I think she knows that a part of me inside wants to do these things. I think she sees something there that like she knows it's inside of me. I think so I started to pick up on that. But during this time I was still shy and everything. And then she asked me, she's like, hey, she was walking around and she's like, what about you, Mike? And I'm like, no, I'm okay. I'm like, I think I'm just looking for it's like you said, maybe you're looking for disaster. And then she told me, she's like, I shouldn't preach it that way, huh? I'm like, no, maybe not. And I told her, no, I don't want to do it. So that class went well. Then the year after that, I think I took production two, which I think is directing. I'm not sure if it's just production two or production two is directing. This one was production, and then production two, which I love directing. I love the class. I got her again, which I love because I love it when I'm already familiar with the professor. I feel more comfortable instead of going off to a new professor. So I felt really safe being with her again. So I took directing, which was amazing. She taught me these things that I didn't know as a director, that you could actually help build and make the scene more authentic. How to work with your actors, what you could tell them, what scenario you can play out for them to make that moment work. So that was amazing right there. I got to go and I actually felt like I was directing. And one of the assignments was actually to go and at the final is actually us casting actual actors through like backstage and then putting them in front of her, and then she gets to see us direct. We have to direct right in front of her in the whole class. So I got to direct a scene from Carlito's Way, which I love, one of my favorite films by Brian De Palma. And I got to do a scene from Carlito's Way, and I worked with these two incredible actors. So she was there to help out, and I got to see other people direct. I got to see how they work, their actors, how they are as directing, what they want and what things interest them. And so during this time, she kept going again about the whole the contest thing, and I kept, no, I don't want to do it. She kept talking about it. Then I think the thing that happened is we were directing. I think the class was, I think we did the final of the directing, but I think our class was supposed to continue. So this class now, the one that I'm saying that I'm in production two or directing, this is already in 2020. So that started like January, February, March, April, May. Yeah, it was in 2020. So this already started. So we had started it already. And then I didn't only have this class, I had other classes, and the talk about COVID was already going around. Just right now, I remember I was in the library one time and it was kind of empty. People weren't showing up. I remember one of my other professors, she ended up saying that they might send us home. I got sad about it because I don't like being at home so much. Sometimes I feel like I chose to go to school because I don't want to be at home alone. I get kind of depressed and everything, so I like being around people or just doing something or communicating with other people, especially with something that we both find interesting. And I remember my other professor, she told us, she's like, hey guys, they might tell you guys to go home. You guys want to or not? And a lot of people raised their hands. They're like, yeah. And me, I was like the only one that was, but she looked at me. She's like, Mike, what's up? I'm like, I just don't want to go home. She's like, you don't, huh? And she kind of looked at me like, I don't either, And, I talked to this about with my mother, and my mom told me one time, like recently, like either this year or last year. And I told her, I was like, man, all these people raising their hands, they freaking want to go home. But some of us actually want to go over there, and we feel better that we learn inside of school and not at home, not through a virtual way. But what she told me kind of made sense. She's like, did you really think that those guys thought they were going to be out for so long? Did you really think they thought that they were going to be gone for a whole year, 2 years out of the school? And I was like, all right, yeah, that makes sense, But I remember that that little bit of things that was going on at that time, The other thing is I was going through something around this time, something kind of scary, or like a mental illness, I guess you could say, kind of. I'm not going to get into it because I don't like to talk about my personal life too much like that. I am thinking about maybe doing a video, but I'm not sure. I'm still kind of uncomfortable about sharing that with people. But I might have to here because it goes along with this story, which is why 2022 is so special to me. Why I have this shirt as a reminder. Why I have things that remind me that my film got to play at the film festival. The call that I got, after everything that I went through. So, and that's why I wanted to share this video, because I think it's really important, in how I was in the dark place and how I got out of it, and how just like these things kind of came back. Hey man, look, you did this. Don't forget what you did during the hard time that you're going through, all those stuff. So yeah, 2020 happened, and all that stuff was going on. They sent us home. I think around this time she was still talking to us about emailing us about, hey, you want to go submit a script. She kept emailing me like, Mike, or I think she had my number too, and she's like, Mike, you don't want to submit a script, come on. I'm like, in one part I kind of did. I was getting tempted, but I'm like, I don't have anything to tell. Like, all the stories ideas I have are too big. I don't think I'll be able to do it in a short film or with the money from the school. And I'm like, and I don't want to rush something just like that. I would want to do something that I'm passionate about, something that I care about, something that I know I can go, I know what to do from beginning to the end. I don't want to throw myself inside this headache and anything. So she emailed me, and she kept emailing me. I said, no, I don't. I'm sorry. I don't have anything. So it was funny because she kept bugging me. And then finally the day came. I knew the day came where the deadline was for the people that submit the contest. And I'm like, all right, thank God it's over. She's not gonna bug me anymore. So I'm like, all right, I'm free from all of that. And then like a week later, a few days after that, I get a text or an email from her again. And this time she's like, okay, Mike, we selected the person who's gonna get funded the money, the winners. And I think you would be fit for this. I want to ask you if you would like to direct it. And I was like, oh man, she just won't leave me alone. I'm like, she's like, I would like you to direct it. She reached out to me, and a part of me stopped where I'm like, man, she just won't leave me alone. And I thought about it. I'm like, Mike, you want to do this as a career, yeah, I know you're scared. There's gonna be money that's gonna be given to you. There's gonna be deadlines thrown at you. You're actually gonna have to build an actual team, an actual crew, film crew and everything, production crew. But I'm like, you have to do something. You can't just say no. If you want to do this, you gotta say yeah. And the other thing is, I thought about her, and I'm like, man, if she keeps contacting me, she contacted me to submit a script. I didn't, but she kept bugging me to, and I said no. And then after that, when I say no and it's done, she still contacts me. You know what? Why don't you direct? And I'm like, oh man. So I'm like, there must be something that she must believe in me or something. And how am I gonna deny that? How am I? I don't want to like miss my shot. Or, like, I'm like a person of fate. So I'm like, God, like, what if God just says, there's your shot right there. So, and I don't want to bypass it being like, no, and it's like, hey man, it was like right there for you. So yeah, she told me she was reaching out to me, and she told me that she was looking at another director, but she also asked me, the person script that won, that person was supposed to direct their script. The thing is that the professor didn't want them just to direct it because they had no experience in the production class. They had no experience in the directing. I don't think they had experience in cinematography or any like hands-on classes, And I had already taken like 2 or 3 of those classes of hands-on experience. So I think that was the reason why she wanted me. She wanted me to kind of like, be there to like help this person out, help them understand how to do these things. A part of me felt like, oh man, if I'm gonna do it I had a feeling that something was gonna be off if I'm doing it with another person. I've never done this. This is called like co-directing, to direct. Part of me was always curious how you do that, because I see like brothers or people that aren't even brothers, friends, and they come together and they're, you see their names together, they're co-directing, there's 2 directors. So I always wondered how that would work. And right here I'm like, okay, so we're gonna go and do this, so let's see what happens here. The first thing I told the professor, I was like, you know what, okay, I was like, send me the script. I was like, send me the script, because I was like, I don't want to freaking just hop onto something that I don't like. Okay, so she sends me the script in my email. I read the script, and man, I fell in love with the script. It's amazing, and I hope the person who wrote it ends up doing it sometime. But I think the script was good, and right away after I was done reading it, I ran right away and I said, "Yep, I'm on board." The reason I fell in love with the script because it was similar to a story I was writing when I was practicing short films. When one of my friends told me, "Why don't you do focus on short films instead of feature films? You know, you're not really big, you don't got the money, you don't know anybody. You know, why don't you focus on doing short films?" And it was one of the things that I was trying out one time because I always wanted to tell a story like this. And even my friend, when he was having this idea of this anthology series on YouTube, he said, and I pitched this around to him. He's like, "Oh, you think I could use that for my anthology?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure." But I couldn't make it work. I couldn't make it into a short film. It kept like expanding into like, and that's my problem. My things keep expanding into like features, and I don't know how to condense it. It's hard. That's why I actually have a lot of respect for short films. People might think like short films are trash or they're nothing, but I think for you to tell a story in like a confined amount of time, I think that's pretty creative. And I think that's why a lot of filmmakers that are known now, they got known because of their short film, you know? And that was the thing. And I was impressed because this person made this story that I wanted to tell into like a short, and it just hit it right from beginning, middle to end. And I'm like, damn, this is perfect. I'm like, it's like 22 minutes, I think it was. 22 pages, I believe, or something like that. So I fell in love with it. I really wanted to do it, and so she submitted the script. I said, yeah, I'll do it. But the director screenwriter had to interview me. So the person had to interview me. The person was interviewing other people already. Then came my turn where I remember we did a Zoom. You know, that was the hard part, that everything was like on Zoom around this time already. You know, we weren't at the school. It wasn't easy to see each other's face. You know, like, I don't know. It was just a different time, man. And at this time, I was still okay. I was still kind of okay, laughing, everything normal and everything, you know. But there are things that were going on in my personal life, at work, at my home, myself, that were starting to hit here. And I was getting worried about certain things. She interviewed me, and I think during the interview, I had brought up like 3 films that I told her I want to use. I want to use these 3 films as like inspiration. You know, I'm looking back at these and it reminds me of this. And I have a feeling that we could shoot it kind of in this kind of tone, this theme, this vibe of these films right here, you know. And then the person just, you know, it was done. It was an interview. They interviewed more people. Eventually, I got the email back and they told me, or I think we Zoomed again, and the person told me, "Hey, I want you to be my co-director. And the reason I want you to be my co-director is because the films that you pitched, the ones that you told, are the ones that I was looking at too as inspiration." And then she ended up mentioning some other films that, some other indie films that she liked that I haven't seen, and I got to look at later, and I fell in love with it, and I understood what she was doing. She tells me that she wants me and everything, so we're good. So now we're co-directing together. I have to read the script. There are some things that I wanted to look at to see if I got to talk about with her, you know. On top of that, we had to plan ahead. Professor said, "All right, you guys are co-directing. You guys got to find a crew. Everybody needs a crew." A lot of people were already finding their crew around this time, and a lot of people already knew each other. I reached out to a lot of people that I had experience with in the production class and the directing class. I remember I contacted them because they were making it seem like you guys need to do this quick, you know. And I contacted like a lot of people that I knew I didn't know them personally. I wasn't friends, but I had them. They were my classmates, so I know them from there. They saw my stuff, I saw theirs. So I reached out to some said that they already graduated. Some said that they can't because of their schedule, their class, or because of the prerequisite or things like that. You know, there was always something of the people that I knew that they just couldn't do it, you know. This other director, screenwriter was trying to help out too, looking for people, couldn't find them. We did get a few people that hopped onto our production crew, but then eventually later they ended up hopping on the other ones. They they were with us, and then they're like, "Nah, we you know what? I'm gonna leave." And then they hopped onto the other one. And I was like, "What?" You know, me and the director were like, "Man, that's messed up." Like, they were with us and now they just hopped onto the other one. You know, they must have loved the other story more than the story that we had, or they saw some potential there, maybe, or maybe it's something else. You know, they got the position that they probably wanted there. So we're just struggling with that. On top of that, I'm reading the script with the girl. On top of that, I'm reading the script with the director, the screenwriter. And there are some notes that I want to put in there because I knew I was going to put in there. And I was like, I don't know how this is going to work because, you know, it's still, even though I didn't want to step on this person's toes, to be honest. I didn't want to step on their toes because I know what it must feel like if someone's stepping on your toes, or the story that you're writing. So I was like, give this person space. and let them don't step on their toes, you know. And I didn't want to ruin their thing either, you know. On top, I always had it in my mind, it's theirs, I'm co-directing, but I also had a problem like, hey, it's my name on it too, you know. I'm the director also, not the whole director, I'm a co-director, but I still should have a little input. I'm not just gonna hop in here and just be like, yeah, okay, do you, I won't do anything, but you do it your way, you know. I can show you that. I still wanted to be a part of it, put my input in it, you know. I don't just want to hop on there just to like be on the side and anything, you know. So I had to put my stuff on there too. So I would read some of the stuff and I would question some things on the script, you know. I would question a little bit of things because some things I didn't understand, but then the person would explain it to me and I'd be like, oh, okay, now I get it, you know. I just needed you to explain it to me, but now I understand why you have it there. Some things I think I'd be like, yeah, I don't think that'll work. Maybe we should take it out or change it, you know. And that's how I worked with this person. So me and this director, screenwriter, we're going through all this stuff, you know, trying to find a crew, trying to work on the project, get ahead. You know, I think I took the duties of doing like a storyboard. I don't know what, I forgot what duties we put on that person. But, you know, I was going through the script with this person. It was their script. It wasn't my script, but I was adding little things to it, you know. I didn't want to make it just mine. I didn't want to like force for it to be mine, you know. I knew it was their script, and as I said, I don't want to step on anybody's toes because I know what that feels like. So I don't want to step on this person's toes. But part of me said, "Hey, it's my name on there too as a co-director, so I do have to put a little bit things. I know we're gonna have to like talk about some things maybe that I don't agree with and anything. So and I felt like it was gonna work out that way, you know. So I talk about the script with this person. We change it at times. I question it. We're struggling with the crew, and we didn't understand how we couldn't get a crew. All the other crew, all the other groups, they found their crew. The other team found their crew like right away. Like, and we're like, they must have known each other or something because we don't understand how they all got together so quick. On top of that, some of them were with us, and then they left us, and the professor was getting on us. You know, hey, what's going on? Why is there no crew? Why? And we had to tell the professor, hey man, you know, like there's really like nothing we can do. Like we've been trying to find a crew and we can't find them, you know. I've reached out to people that the professor knows that I had classes with. I told her, I was like, I reached out to this person, that person, they told me this and that. And yeah, and the other person was trying to get help too. I'm not sure if she ever the director screenwriter found anybody. I'm not sure if they ever found anybody or if they had like they were responsible for one of the people on our team. But the professor ended up saying, okay, then I'm going to try to get out of my way. I'm going to try. It's not the professor's job to do this, first of all, but to help us out, she ended up doing this. She ended up going out there. And I did mention a few people that I had that I wanted to work with because I felt like they had like talent, you know, from what I remember. And I'm like, I would want them to be on my team. I would love to work with them because I knew that I was impressed with the things that they did in front of me. So the professor reached out to some people there. And eventually I think, yeah, we were working on it. And then there was parts where I think the screenwriter director felt I was stepping on their toes, you know, where they had to put their foot down and tell me, no, I don't want that, you know. And eventually it seemed like it was becoming a lot that I was like, I don't know if this person is really like going to do it like someone's talking to them or what's going on. You know, I started getting a vibe from this person already. And I'm like, please don't tell me this is one of those things where they're going to be like, where I'm going to say this. Look, I started to get the feeling that this person, either someone was talking to this person thought that I was going to get the credit for the work. I didn't say it out loud to them. I never said it. I think I did. I think I talked to this person about it once. I'm going to get to it. I think to that. I'm going to get to it. But I started to get this feeling that this person probably thought that I was going to get credit for their screenplay for that. And I think they wanted the recognition of what they did, you know. Some people kind of get like that. I got like that once too, where I was like, I don't want anybody on it because I want it to be my name. I want people to recognize me only as, you know, but sometimes you have to. I mean, even me, I'm struggling with things that I wanted just to be mine, but I'm like, dude, I think I need a partner in this, you know. So I started to get that feeling. So there was already starting to get like a little tense right there already. And I was starting to kind of foreshadow what was going on. Then after, the professor went out and reached to some people that was from my previous classes. Reached out to the producer. The producer was a classmate of mine. She got on board and I was happy because that's one of the persons that I told the professor I would like that person on my team. I don't know what the professor told her, but she ended up hopping on our team as the producer, which was cool. And I was glad because I wanted to work with that person. We had another person that was from our class too that I was happy with. So it was cool because I had people that I was familiar with on my crew, on our crew, and that was cool. And the professor went out to go reach out to them. She went out of her way to find these people. And I'm not sure who found the editors, the two editors, which were great editors, great people. I'm not sure it was the professor that found them because I think the professor found most of the people from our crew. She was the one that was responsible for getting our crew because we couldn't get a crew. Um, and then yeah, so we're all working together. We got a crew. We have meetings together from time to time. Professor brings up, hey, you guys got to do this now. You guys got to do that now. You got to come up with pictures. You got to get the cinematographer, talk to him, do a lookbook. We got a cinematographer. I don't know how we got this. I think the cinematographer we got through her too, which was one of her students. And we got him. He was a great guy, a cinematographer, and I think he was familiar with the camera that we are going to use already. So we got him. And then me and him also went through I had a meeting with him, and we went through a lookbook together. We went through, I think that was one of the other assignments I had, is like a lookbook of what was going. Oh, no. Hold on. I'm getting ahead of myself. This guy, I don't think we found a cinematographer until after certain things happened. Oh, no. Yeah, I think he was part of it, and then it switched, and then he still stayed, I think. Um, he stayed, but when we did the lookbook was when the story things happened. So he got on, I think, during this with me and the screenwriter director. He got on board. So we're having these meetings and all, and then things between me and this person start getting a little bit tense. And then I think when we had meetings with the professor has a way where I guess people could take offense to it, I guess, in a way. And because she's focusing on, sorry, I had something bugging me in my eye. The professor has, I guess, some people could feel a little offended by the way she talks, or the way she talks fast or cuts you off. I mean, I felt that before too. She would cut me off at times, or she could be blunt on certain things. I felt kind of that way before. But when I get to know a person, I get to know where their heart is really, whether they're really like a bad person or a good person. And eventually I was like, I don't think this person's bad. I think it's just the way they are, their mannerisms, the way they speak and everything, and what they're doing. And this person didn't know her. So this person just didn't know her, didn't have classes with her or anything. So this was the first time they're having like conversations with her. They never met my professor in person. Like they never had classes with her. I did. I was familiar with her. So when we had these Zoom meetings, me, the screenwriter, co-director, director, with the professor, the professor would sometimes talk to me more, or like say something, and then she would say, all right, well, Mike will handle it. Mike will do it, or Mike can work on that part. So I think she felt kind of like, hey, I'm being overshadowed or something. And she did bring it up one time. She's like, I feel like sometimes I don't know, she said a word which kind of hurt me when she said it. Not me, but I felt bad. The person said something like, I forgot what they said. They said something though that I was like, oh, here it is, and I had to speak up. It didn't take me that long. I didn't think about it, but I was like, here it is. This is it. I was like, so I already had that feeling, and I didn't want it to happen. But I told this person, I'm like, hey, look, yes, I'm going to tell you the truth. The professor is kind of like that. The professor looks at me, but the only reason the professor is talking to me in that way, or, is because I took classes with her. I took the production class, I took the directing class, I took another one. I didn't take the cinematography class, but I had the hands-on experience with her, and she knows that. She knows that you didn't have that experience though. So she kind of just wants this to go smooth. She wants it to go good, And I told this person, I'm like, look, I know you feel that way. I'm aware of what you're feeling. I'm aware of what you're trying to say, but I don't want you to feel that way. I want you to know that I know that this is your script. This is your story. I'm here to help. I do have to put my part in too, but I don't want you to think that I'm trying to step on you. And whether she talks to you, says it makes you feel that way, then, then just let it be. At the end, it's us, it's going to be, we'll just go through the meetings and that's it. But don't feel that I'm going to team up with her. We're going to go against you, make it ours, or anything like that, So that happens. And COVID's going on at this time, COVID's going on, and things are changing in Hollywood. Things are really changing in Hollywood. The professor starts talking about, hey, what are you guys going to do? Because the professor really makes you get on your toes, what's going to happen. We're not doing this short film just for fun. We're not We're not messing around. The school's actually trying to like get us ready to, if we want to get in this industry, we got to go by the way it goes in the actual industry, you know, if we want to be part of it. This isn't like a, here, go have fun, guys, make a little story, go play, come up with a story. No, this is, that's why they're giving us but they're not just giving us money just to give us money to go throw it away. You know, they're giving us money to do something big, something that could get us recognized, something that will help us get the experience, something that we could go tell people, hey, you know, I worked on this project, I wrote this script, I directed this, I did the cinematography on this, I edited this, I did the sound on that, you know. So it's not just to go mess around and play around. You still got to be professional. You know, that's what they're doing, showing us helping us become professionals to the field that we want to work in. You know, so it was serious. So the professor would bring up these scenarios like, hey, what are you gonna do if Hollywood changes things? You know, I mean, COVID's happening, people are wearing masks. You know, this was crazy, man. This was when we started wearing masks. We started having hand sanitizer, you know, all that stuff. It was barely starting, man. And I remember January, February, I remember seeing the news clips of like COVID, like a little. I didn't think it was going to be as big. Like, you know, there was always something. There's always some like clip on something, like of some flu or something like that. You know, there's always something that comes from time to time. And I thought it was just one of those things. You know, now we have the COVID. But man, did I not know that it was going to be something big. I don't think any of us probably knew, you know. But did it become something big, man? And it changed, I think, most of our lives, and it changed my life a lot. And so that happened right there with COVID. So things are changing in Hollywood. We're wearing masks, hand sanitizer, everything. Hollywood, obviously, Hollywood's a crew. You're like close to each other, you know. You don't wear masks, nothing. But Hollywood's starting to change their things, and the professor had already brought this up to us before it happened. But then I think it was submitted where Hollywood had a guideline now where if you're on a set, you have to wear masks, you have to do social distancing. You know, you could do the scene, you can do the scene without the mask and everything, but these rules were submitted. I think I had the paperwork of when it submitted, when the Hollywood did that rule. And so these things started to change, and the professor kept bringing up like, hey, you know, if you guys want to make it easier for yourself, because this is hard, and you know, if one of you guys gets sick or two of you guys get sick, your crew might go down, you know, your whole thing might go, your production might slow down, and you guys need to finish this. And I was getting kind of all upset. I was getting all tense. I was like, oh, this is the part that I didn't want. All this headache, you know, just starts coming at the wrong time. At the same time, my back history with the problem I'm going through in my personal life is there too. And I'm already having the effects during this time. I'm talking to my friends, my parents, and I'm getting a little bit scared of what's going on in the background. And I hopped onto this project, and I don't know, I'm getting to that point where I'm like, why'd I do this? Why'd I hop onto this? You know, why'd I do this? So the professor brought up the whole thing, you know, why don't you guys think about having the people wear masks? Why don't you do that? Why don't you tell them to wear masks? Have a story set during this time, during the pandemic. And you know what was one of the things that the professors were telling us before they let us go, before we got quarantined, before they said you guys are going to be doing virtual schooling, you guys are going to go home and we'll have classes online. Every professor was telling the student, hey, this is a great opportunity. You guys can make a movie about the pandemic, the quarantine. You guys can get creative now. And me, I always want to try to stand out, you know? So I would have loved if I would have came up with the idea of a quarantine or a pandemic, like probably years ago, but years before COVID, you know, or a year before it, you know, it would have felt like, oh, I'm coming up with something original, you know? But when this was happening, I'm like, man, everybody's going to do it now, you know? Everyone's going to do a pandemic, quarantine, COVID type of story, you know? Everyone's going to try to go shoot that now. I don't want to do it. If everyone's doing it, why am I going to do it? There's a lot, you know? So why am I going to do it? I'm not going to stand out if everyone's doing it. And so that's one of the things that the professors were telling us before we took off. And this is what this professor was telling us now. She's like, why don't you guys set it in the pandemic? You know, it's nothing bad. People wear masks. It could mean something, you know, and she was really trying to tell us that this sometimes helps out, works out. The director, screenwriter did not like that at all. I'm going to admit to you, I didn't like it at first either. It's just me. I was like, so it's a little, I blame myself too. I'm not going to try to sugarcoat that part. I blame myself too, but yeah, I was, you know, it's because all my life I grew up watching movies. All my life I grew up watching movies. I never saw movies with people with yeah, unless it was like a Corn type of big old Contagion movie or something like that, you know, that has to do a bit. The movies that I wanted to make, it didn't. I didn't want people with masks on. I grew up watching movies with people showing their faces. The actor, the actress, these actors, you know, I saw their faces, the backgrounds, everything. I saw their faces. I saw their look. You know, they weren't covered by a mask. You know, they weren't covered. You know, I didn't want that, and I was like, I was like, I didn't grow up doing that. I wanted to make a movie. You know, I want to make a movie, the one that I saw when I was reading the script, the one that this person wanted to make. You know, so I was getting a little bit kind of like iffy, and I told the person, yeah, it's just, I explained this to the screenwriter director. But then the professor told us, think about it. You guys think about it and see what happens, you know. You guys got to think about this through. You got to think this through, you know. And as I said, there was already that tense feeling with this person where I told you, I felt like they felt that I was going to take the credit from their work, you know. I already had that feeling. So there was already that problem already there. Eventually, the screenwriter director emails me and they say, hey, Mike, you know, I don't want to, it's not the way I visioned the film. It's not the way I wanted to do it. And I know you have a little issues with it, but I think I'm going to leave. And the part that got me is she said, I'm going to leave. I'm pulling out. I got left. The part that got me, she said, I'm taking my script with me. I'm pulling my script with me too. And I'm like, I just got so like, you don't know, man. I was just like, all the work, everything, you know, all that we did together, the time, everything, the professor going out of her way to get the people, we lost everything that we're going through, all this hassle and everything, and then comes at me with this. There's a part of me that understood, but there's a part of me, I'm not gonna lie, I got angry. I had anger inside. I had like resentment, and I was like, I got onto this because I wanted to do it because I saw something in this project, you know. But I understand that the scripting, the mask thing was just, I don't know. I think it was just because it was really fast that the person said, I'm going to pull my script, you know. I mean, yeah, I didn't want to do the film like with mask either. And I was like, man, I don't know. I don't know what I can't remember whether I was going to change my mind and say, yeah, let's do it with the mask, or whether I was going to say something else. It's also, you know, the professor, I don't know. I'm not sure. Didn't really force it on us, but said it would have helped out better because we already had problems, you know, and it would have helped things go smooth if we had actors in mask and everything, you know, that way everybody's in mask and nothing. No, we don't have to freaking change anything, you know? So yeah, the person just, the person pulled their script. And as I said, I was angry, and I was really like upset. And I was just like, I went to my friends. I went to like a lot of people, my family, and I'm like, man, I was doing this thing. I really wanted to. This person pulls out themselves, and then they get me. I'm here. Like, you know, I wasn't even going to do this, but because I believed in it, I said, yes, I'll do it. So they pulled out. Okay, they pulled out. They leave me there. Fine. They left me there alone. The second thing is, I'm taking the script with me. I'm like, what? Guys, if you guys enjoyed that video, please hit that like button and subscribe. And as always, thank you for watching.